What's up, guys? Jordan Schumacher here, and welcome back to this video in the Ad Agency Accelerator program. In this video, we're going to talk about the mindset that you need to have and the mindset that goes into creating profitable paid traffic campaigns. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So the first thing that we need to get clear in regards to customer acquisition and online advertising, because a lot of people say, well, you know, advertising is great, but I would much rather just acquire my customers for free, right? Why pay for customer acquisition? The reality is there is no such thing as free, quote unquote, customer acquisition. Ultimately, businesses spend money, whether that's in the form of time or in the form of advertising, to generate traffic and awareness to their brand and to their business. And so what you need to understand is a lot of people claim that, you know, content marketing is this free panacea of traffic. The reality is content marketing is not free. Oftentimes it's very, very expensive because it costs time and resources to create the content. It costs time and resources to promote that content. It costs time and resources to continuously update that content. And so as a result, unless you value your time at zero, which is a mistake, there's no such thing as free traffic or free customer acquisition. And so businesses spend money, whether that money is in the form of dollars paid to Facebook or dollars paid to Google or dollars paid to billboards or whoever. Businesses either spend money to promote their content and generate traffic and awareness that way, or businesses spend time through direct outreach, sort of the hand-to-hand combat of sales and marketing, to generate traffic and awareness for their brand. But regardless, businesses spend money, they make an investment to generate traffic, really attention being another term for the word traffic. And then this traffic is then engaged with in some way, either through a conversation, through maybe a physical interaction if it's a physical brick and mortar store, maybe it's through an email, maybe it's through a text message or a phone call, some sort of digital media, or a combination of all of the above. But businesses generate traffic, they then engage with that traffic, and eventually a percentage of this traffic, which after traffic has been engaged with and sort of indoctrinated into a brand to some extent, it's known as warm traffic. Eventually a percentage of this warm traffic will then go on to convert and become a paying customer. And customer engagement at that point then continues to happen. Products delivered. There's typically some sort of messaging to make sure that the customer is satisfied. There's a whole back-end process that typically happens with most businesses. And in most businesses, a percentage of the customers who have purchased once will go on to continue to purchase other products and services. And in a nutshell, at a 10,000-foot view, that is how customer acquisition works in virtually every business in the free market economy that you can imagine. So let's just draw out sort of what that actually looks like. So if we take a look here, virtually every business really in the world can pretty much be broken down into these four segments. So you have traffic, you have engagement, you have front end offers, and then you have back-end offers. And so virtually every business, no matter where you are, no matter where you're starting, no matter what your industry, virtually every business starts by generating traffic or awareness of their brand or business or awareness of their offers. That traffic, that attention is then engaged with. Typically then a percentage of the people who engage with the brand will go on to purchase one product, and then a percentage of those people will go on to continue purchasing other products. This model can literally describe pretty much any brand in the world. You look at Amazon. Amazon has generated massive awareness, right? So a percentage of people who know of Amazon, let's say every person in the world knows of Amazon. Let's say 80% of those people actually visit Amazon.com the next time they need to buy something. Of those 80%, let's say 20% of the people who actually visit the site actually go on to buy an offer. Let's say they buy, I don't know, let's say they buy groceries from Amazon. First thing that pops into my head. Then if people use Amazon for a while, realize, wow, this is really handy and I do love, 2-day shipping. I would love to get free 2-day shipping. Then those percentage of these people who purchase something from Amazon are going to go on and buy, for example, Prime. and become an annual subscriber to Amazon, which is really what Amazon's trying to do, is basically get everyone to enroll in Prime. And so obviously not every single person who becomes aware of a brand is going to move through all of these stages, but these stages are pretty typical of the buyer journey in any single industry, in any single business. And so when we started the traffic generation, traffic can be generated in any number of ways, right? You have ads, you have content, could be direct outreach, could be phone calls, could be phone calls, could be direct mail, could be conversations, right? You're essentially just generating traffic, or again, traffic is just another word for you generating awareness of your brand. So you have ads, you have your content, whatever the case may be. A percentage of the people who become aware of your brand are going to start engaging with your brand. And so that engagement happens any number of ways. It could be email. It could be, physical conversations again. Could be additional content. But really the purpose of this engagement is designed to introduce the cold prospect to the brand and essentially warm them up, make them more familiar with the brand, make them come to trust the brand, at which point then they will typically purchase some sort of product, which is typically known as a front-end offer. Typically a front-end product is relatively inexpensive. It's less of a financial commitment as opposed to, for example, the back-end offer. And so typically the front-end offer is a cheaper product. Typically it's a one-off purchase. It's an individual product because people are hesitant to make a subscription, annual commitment, monthly commitment, anything like that. And so typically it is a one-time purchase, relatively smaller value. And of the people who purchase on the front end, then a percentage of those people will go on to purchase either recurring products or higher ticket products from the same company, depending on their overall experience at the front end. And so our job as marketers then with paid traffic is to utilize advertising to facilitate this customer journey. And so let me show you the power of this and how this actually works in practice. So we have our traffic, our engagement, front end, and back end. So let's say that we purchase, let's say that we have a $10,000 ad budget, and we purchase leads at $10 per lead for the sake of this. I'm using nice big round numbers for the sake of easy math. So that means that we have 1,000 leads. So we have brought 1,000 leads who we are now engaging with. And of those 1,000 leads, let's say, again, for the sake of easy math, let's say that 10% of those leads actually purchase our front-end offer, which is, let's say, for the sake of easy math, let's say our front-end offer is a $1,000 product. So if 10% of our 1,000 leads decide to convert into our front end, that means that we have 100 customers. So we have 100 customers at 1K. That gives us $100,000. Now, that means that we have spent $10,000 to generate $100,000 in revenue. And this is where most people stop when they think about advertising. They think, oh, cool, I spent 10 grand to generate 100K in revenue. That's amazing. Let's scale that. And you're right, that is amazing, but that's only half the story, because what people forget about is now not only have you generated 100K, essentially a 90K profit on the front end, but you have also now have 100 customers, a list of 100 customers who have already spent $1,000 with you, and a percentage of those people are going to go on to continue buying products and services from you. So let's say you have a subscription product at, I don't know, $50 a month, right? You have a $50 per month subscription product, and then maybe you have like other products that are at, $5K and $10K and whatever. You can make up as many products as you want. You have other products and services. A percentage of these 100 people absolutely will buy all of these products. And so essentially what that allows you to do then is it allows you to not only make a massive profit on the front end, but that allows you to essentially get paid to build a list of highly qualified buyers and essentially just sell them more things in the back end. And so the back end of any business is really where the real profit is, because there's no cost to acquire that customer. You've already paid for that customer up here, and oh, by the way, that customer has actually paid you to end up on your list. And so what happens then is you spend 10 grand to generate 100 grand. That's a 90K profit, right? That allows you to put 90K back in and generate another, 90 customers. And so you just keep, it becomes this positive feedback loop where you're spending money, you're earning money on the front end, which gives you leads to then sell additional products at essentially 100% margin, well, minus the cost of the product, depending on if you're selling physical products or not, but zero cost to acquire a customer on the back end. And this process right here, this cycle, is the power behind paid traffic marketing. And so as a business owner, as a marketer, then it becomes your mission to acquire customers at break even or better. If you can acquire customers at a profit, that's fantastic. That means you're getting paid to build your list essentially. But even if you only acquire customers at break even, that still is building a list of highly qualified prospects, which you can then sell products to on the back end for zero cost to acquire a customer. And so essentially, this is something that has been said much more eloquently by other people. I believe Ryan Dice may have come up with this. But essentially that brings us to what the golden rule of paid traffic advertising is. And the golden rule of paid traffic advertising is this: he who can spend the most to acquire a customer wins. Period. Hands down. End of story. The business that can afford to spend the most to acquire a customer will win. This is why Amazon is now worth $1 trillion, because they are willing and able to spend more money than anyone else in the world to acquire a customer. Essentially, Amazon's business model is, hey, I'm going to sell my products for at cost or at a loss. I just want everyone in the world to be an Amazon Prime member. It's a similar model to Costco, right? Where Costco sells most of their goods at virtually break even. Costco makes most of its money on the Costco subscription and also ancillary services. It's the same reason that Uber is currently winning. Uber is subsidizing the cost of all of the rides. So typically, except in short instances where Lyft's running a promotion, Uber rides are cheaper. As a consumer, you care most about just the price of getting from A to B. And so Uber is willing to pay the most to acquire customers. Hence, Uber is winning the customer acquisition game. And it all comes down to this, right? And the business that is able to spend the most to generate traffic by converting that traffic profitably into a front-end offer and then monetizing it even more onto the back end, that business is going to be able to continually spend more and more money on traffic, which is going to just result in a positive feedback loop of more sales, which allows more investment in the traffic, etc., etc. And so the business that is able to spend the most to acquire a customer will win. And so as marketers, our goal is to acquire customers for businesses at break even or better, and ultimately to create an automated system for generating leads, sales, and customers on autopilot. And that is what we are going to learn how to do throughout the rest of this program. I'll see you in the next video.